ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Jeff Schwartz, founder of Dentity. Somebody I met just 2 days ago in Davos, but I have been so amazingly impressed by since then. In fact, in the last, I would say 48 hours, I have talked to him for like 8 hours, right? Which means he has been the star of my visit to Davos. Jeff, thank you very much for being Jeff. Tell us more about yourself as well as what you're doing at Dentity.
Great. Well, thank you for including me. I've really enjoyed spending time with you, many late nights, and enjoyed meeting your son, who's a wonderful young man. He's going to have a great career. So, Dentity is a digital identity company. I started my career in I'll even call it Web1 back in the 90s. First company I took public was in March of 99, a company called AutoBytel, which was the first automotive internet company. And in 2017, we were actually the first internet company to do a Super Bowl ad, which is still semi-legendary. And so, we today at Dentity, we're focused on counterparty trust. How do you build trust between people, enterprises, and now agents online, right? So there's so many online communities that need digital trust. The sharing economy, for example, is going to be $1 trillion economy, but it can't grow and operate without digital trust. So it's not just blockchain cryptographic transactions that we're talking about. It's all of our digital lives need digital trust, and that's really what we're focused on. We use blockchain technologies and decentralized technologies because that's the most effective way to deliver the product that we're interested in doing.
Excellent. Suppose I'm standing at a retail outlet.
Yeah.
In a new town, maybe Davos,
Yeah.
and I have to buy something.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't automatically doubt or lack trust in the retailer.
Right.
But if I were to go to an online retailer,
Right.
again, a new one I have not used before, I'm always worried whether they'll take my money away or whether they'll give me a spurious product.
Right.
What is it about digital interaction that casts a new level of lack of trust, which the old world interactions did not?
So it's a great question, and what it speaks to is the issue of systems and how they've built digital trust over time. So the credit card system does identity verifications, millions of them, maybe billions of them a day. The system is built for verifying your identity associated with the card, and doing digital transactions. We don't have such a system in the rest of the digital world. Most of the digital world has been modeled after the physical identity system. In the physical identity system, you have three major parties. You have the issuer, right? Let's say that it's a state that's issued you an identity. You hold a plastic card. You're the holder of the card. You're Ajeet. And then you have the verifier. You present the card to somebody. So that's the physical identity system. In the digital world, that system breaks down. You're sharing too much information, right? It just doesn't work. And so the new form of identity needs to be held by you, and you need to be the owner of the identity, where you can give away the information that you want to. So, for example, if you're buying a beer at a convenience store and you present your plastic identity to them, they don't need to know your date of birth. They need to know you're 21. They don't need to know where you live, right? There's so much information. There's excessive information, and that's one of the problems that we have with identity theft and whatnot. And so this new form of digital identity that we have tens of millions of people using now is privacy protective.
Nice. One of my challenges when I talk to extraordinary Web3 projects such as Dentity is that they are extraordinary by design, architecture, infrastructure, and ecosystem, but they often do not have a high scale of adoption and usage already. You seem to have cracked that. You have a lot of adoption. So tell us both. First, tell us what those numbers looks like,
Yeah.
and also tell us how you manage that.
I think you're exactly right. I think you have to build. It has to be built into the architecture, and one of the things that we see in our industry, in the digital identity industry, has been excellent architecture, excellent technology, but we're not solving a technology problem. The technology problem has been solved. It's a user adoption problem. And so in order to get user adoption, right, you have to solve real world problems, not academic problems or industry problems. And so I think in a lot of industries, we're guilty of solving, industry and academic problems. You're laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about. So what we've done is we've taken a different approach. My philosophy and my thesis has been that, look, I'm not an identity expert, notwithstanding the fact that I'm very involved in, Decentralized Identity Foundation and other positions. I believe that the technology is not the problem. So the real problem is counterparty trust. How do you build trust between people and enterprises and agents? And so if that's the way you define the problem, not as a technology problem, then you go to market in a very different way. So what we've done is we've been, I think, quite good at going to market and finding real-world use cases where digital trust solves a problem. I can give you many examples.
But before that, actually, I want to nuance this by saying I'll give you two options which might sound similar. Are you saying that you help build trust between two parties, or are you saying that you are creating a system which does not require two parties to trust each other?
Well, I think this idea of trustless is a little overstated, right? Because just as you just said, you don't trust the retailer, right? So there has to be trust built. But the thing is, there has to be a system that we both agree upon, that we base our trust on, right? It has to be a verifiable identity, cryptographically verifiable. It has to be something that is universal. One of the problems that we have with trust today is that it's not portable. So trust lives inside a platform, right? Right. Trust lives inside of a platform. It's not transportable. And so what we need is interoperable, verifiable, scalable, programmable trust, right? That's good everywhere, right? Every system, Web 2, Web 3, it doesn't matter. Between peers, think about building peer trust, right? You're on Facebook Marketplace and you're a seller, okay? You have somebody coming over and they're going to do a pickup of an item on your porch, right? No, they want to know that you're not an axe murderer, and you want to know that they're not an axe murderer. So there has to be a system that exchanges trust between buyer and seller that you both accept, and it has to be bigger than Facebook. And so that's the kind of stuff that's really important.
This has been absolutely fantastic. I'm sure everybody wants to know more. Go and check out Dentity. It has been great, Jeff, meeting you and also talking to you here. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.